Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, live tonight for the Adrenaline Therapy 200 from Rockingham Speedway. Race number 3 in round 2 of the playoffs. Drivers trying to advance to round number 3. So we take a look at Eric Hutton making his way around the speedway, third fastest in practice so far. But I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor here tonight, Outlaw Desert Racing, and their adrenaline therapy product or service sponsoring tonight's event. We'll share a little bit more information about that later on as these guys get to qualifying here soon. But a lot on the line for a lot of drivers here tonight, and 200 laps to settle the score and see who comes out on top from the Rock in Thunder Valley here. Gonna be a lot of fun. Very difficult racetrack as you see Eric Hutton spin it off turn number 2 into the inside wall. And again, this is the elimination race. A few drivers already advancing due to wins in this round or just on points already. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight's race. You see the top 3 drivers already moving on. Seth Hatchell winning at Pocono, AJ Stravato winning last week at Kentucky, and Eric Hutton advancing due to points. He is well above the cut line, and he will be moving on no matter where he finishes here tonight. Going to be a lot of fun, but you see a few drivers right around that cut line in danger of potentially falling out. Alan Dice, Nick Starling, Zach Smith, Jeff Pogo, Justin Carey, and Timothy Emanuele. All those drivers definitely in danger of either falling out or being knocked out by someone behind them. A few drivers in a little better shape in terms of points. Josiah and Jeremiah Vincent and Ryan Gemmel, they have a bit of a cushion, but still not safe by any stretch of the imagination. Gonna have to get a solid run here tonight. No mistakes really. We'll see how things go for everyone here as drivers wrapping up the practice session. We will be headed to qualifying here in just a moment. We do want to welcome you here to V-Speed for tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for joining. We hope you enjoy the broadcast as we bring up our qualifying ticker. Drivers headed to the qualifying session. We'll see who's first on track. Looks like Timothy Emanuele getting ready to roll off here, the number 39 car. We'll see how he does as he gets out here onto the backstretch. We'll kind of ride along with Timothy. See how he does. One of our playoff drivers needs a good run, potentially a win. Well, basically a win to advance as he gets a little squirrely getting up to speed here. Headed down into turn number 1. Going to take a wide arc here. Going to be light on the throttle on exit. I think he's trying to set himself up for lap number 2. So he dives it down into turns 3 and 4. Keeps it down on the low line, waits on the throttle, gets back to it. And he goes across the start-finish line. Wide arc into the corner here. He's going to choose the middle line again and kind of cut down here in the center. Low exit up towards the outside wall. And then he'll bring it down to the yellow line once again. And that back end of that race car definitely trying to slip out from underneath him, and he's going to cut this track as short as possible. He'll run a 23:49, currently 4th out of 5 qualifiers. Safe Fair is the fastest. He was also the fastest in practice. Seth Hatchell trying to improve his lap time. Can he do it here? A 22:77. That'll be good for second fastest, right where he was in the practice session as well. So Hatchell, winner at Pocono just a few weeks ago. He'll be starting up towards the front here tonight. Ryan Gemmel on the racetrack as well. He's just getting up to speed here and losing control, getting up onto the racetrack. He'll have to reset. Eric Gallion on the speedway for his first flying lap. We'll see how he does. So he makes his way through 3 and 4. So bumpy, this old racing surface. Of course, they haven't raced here in real life in quite a while, but I wish they would. As Gallion runs a 22.79, that's good for third fastest so far. Can he improve on lap number 2? Right up against the outside wall and down into 3 and 4. Going to have to get a really good run here. He's a 10th off the pole time, but might be able to pick that up as he gets a nice run through turns 3 and 4. He does not improve, however, 400th slower than his first lap. Let's see who else is on the racetrack. Cody Adkins, the number 31. We've seen Cody have some good qualifying runs here. And lap number 1 looking like a 27:30. I believe that, I'm not sure if that lap counted or what the case is there. We'll see if he's able to get an actual lap time in. But AJ Stravato sporting a new paint scheme, the number 33. Enters your points leader and winner from last week. 7 wins on the season in the first 15 races. He has been absolutely dominant here in this series and looking to continue that streak as he is second fastest. And he will go to the top of the boards. AJ Stravato, the number 48. Actually should be the 48. The 33 is his number over in another series. As Gemmel trying to get a lap time in, he comes in, I believe, 6th position in points. Trying to get 1 lap time in, and now he gets up to speed here. It's very quick in practice, up there in the top 5 in terms of lap time. And we'll see what he can do here on this flying lap. Down into turns 3 and 4, really hot into that turn. Might cost him some time on exit. He brings it all the way down to the apron. 22.98. That'll be good for 11th as he sends it off into the wall there. Not going to attempt a second lap. Here comes Brandon Vasquez in a new paint scheme as well. Actually, this is what he ran back on Halloween. So we're approaching that 5-minute mark in qualifying where they'll be pulled into the drivers' meeting. We'll see if Brandon can improve on his lap time here. And it looks like he will not improve. So Brandon Vasquez, 16th of 16 drivers, and that's all that's going to take a time here. 16 out of about 24 drivers. And we are going to head to a quick commercial break. You'll hear a message from our sponsor, Outlaw Desert Racing, and their adrenaline therapy service. We will be right back with your starting grid. The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call adrenaline therapy. In doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing, with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
And back to the racetrack now. Drivers headed to the starting grid. Let's take a look at where your favorite drivers are starting in tonight's event. We go to the grid. Starting on the pole here tonight from Rockingham, AJ Stravato, your points leader, the number 48 machine. Alongside him on the front row, Safe Ferris with a very strong lap time as well. He'll start second in tonight's event. Rolling off in the third position, Seth Hatchell, winner at Pocono 2 weeks ago. Going to be riding right behind last week's winner, starting here in the third position. Eric Gallion going to be starting in the fourth position in that number 33 car. Eric Hutton starting in fifth position, and alongside him, Jeremiah Vincent, both playoff drivers, rolling off here in row number 3. Row number 4, it'll be Josiah Vincent, another playoff driver looking to lock himself in with a good run here tonight. Cody Adkins going to be rolling off in the 8th position. Alan Dice going to be starting in 9th here tonight. He is also a playoff driver looking to move on. And Justin Carey going to be rolling off in the 10th position. Also a playoff driver, needs some points to get above the cut line. Ryan Gamble comes in 6th in points. He'll be rolling off 11th on the racetrack. And Zach Smith just below the cut line, 2 points out. He'll be starting in the 12th position. Jason Perkins going to be rolling off in 13th, and Timothy Emanuele, last of the playoff drivers in the point standings, in 12th. He's starting in 14th tonight. Dennis Steele going to be rolling off in 15th. Brandon Vasquez going to be starting in the 16th position. Dallas Sullivan going to be starting in 17th here tonight, and Lane Sulfridge going to be starting in the 18th position. Rolling off 19th, it's Jordan Shepler, and starting in the 20th position, playoff driver Nick Starling, who comes in just 2 points above the cut line. Lyle Sulfridge is going to be starting in 21st. Thomas Brendel starting in 22nd. Jordan Brockle going to be rolling off 23rd, and Kyle Payne going to be starting in the 24th position. That's going to do it for your field here tonight. Let's head back up to the front where we find AJ Stravato. And AJ in the 33 car on the screen here. He will be scored as the number 48. But hopefully we can avoid as much confusion as possible. AJ in this purple 33, and then Eric Gallion in the... Actually, Eric is on starting from pit lane, so he is in the black and neon number 33, though. As we are about to get going here for the Outlaw Desert Racing Adrenaline Therapy 200. Live tonight from Rockingham, race number 3 of round 2 of the playoffs. Drivers looking to advance here. His pace car going to make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Waiting. Green flag in the air, and AJ Stravato gets us going from the rock. He dives down into turn number 1. He'll clear safe Ferris, the number 44, but the 44 climbs right back up to the back bumper, and they have broken away by a few car lengths over Jeremiah Vincent, Seth Hatchell, and Eric Hutton, who battle it out here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, as the 33, the 48 Stravato, he'll lead lap number 1. And we remain under green, which is a good sign here. Such a difficult track, especially racing side by side, as Hatchell and Hutton, both drivers locked into the playoffs, trying to climb through the top 5 here. And Josiah Vincent in 6th. He's trying to get up there in the mix as well. So Eric Gallion did start from the pit lane. No yellow flags or anything yet. Good, clean racing side by side as we look at the battle back here. Jordan Shepler into the wall. He'll get passed up by Jordan Brockle, Thomas Brendel, and others. So big hit there for the 13 as he slides into the outside retaining wall in turns 1 and 2. Taking a look at Dallas Sullivan here, who rides 14th. And most drivers pretty much single filed out, except for up here, Seth Hatchell and Eric Hutton. These two, no strangers to each other, have battled a lot this season. And Hatchell, good run through the center of 3 and 4. Look at that. He closes right up to the back bumper of Jeremiah Vincent, as the top 2 have fallen back into the clutches of the rest of the field. Everybody single filed out as they make their way down the back stretch here in this track, just over 1 mile long. And we didn't get to look at the weather here today, but 82-degree air temp and very hot track temp, 111. So it could get a little slick, and tire wear will definitely be a factor here as you'll burn up those Goodyear Eagles. Cheer on your favorite driver as well. Let us know you're out there and who you are rooting for, and we'll follow along with them throughout the broadcast. 6 laps into it, AJ Stravato continues to show the way, but he's got pressure from Safe Ferris and just Jeremiah Vincent in 2nd and 3rd position. Seth Hatchell still up here in the top 5. Hutton getting passed up now by Josiah Vincent as they go side by side, door to door through 3 and 4. Here comes Alan Dice up into the mix. Look at the 57 trying to make some moves early on in this one, as he'll go down to the inside of Vincent. Gets the apron just a little out, cost him some momentum. And Ryan Gemmel, the car behind him, going to try and close in. Gemmel started in 11th. He's already gained 3 positions. I believe one of those from Gallion starting from the pits. But Gemmel said this track is not one of his favorites and really just needs a nice solid run. He comes into the event 16 points above the cut line and not safe at all. He needs to be able to finish this thing in one piece. Couple drivers struggling so far. Nick Starling back here in 18th. About a half lap down already. And we have a lot of cars behind him well off the pace as Dennis Steele rubs the wall. He'll race it up right now with Jordan Brockle. Thomas Brendel, Jordan Shepler also back here. Gallion has climbed up to 23rd now and reeled these guys in. And he was one of the fastest qualifiers. Very strong lap time and electing to start from the rear. Currently 14 seconds back, and he's got to get moving here if he wants to avoid going a lap down. He's about 2/3 of a lap down as Safe Ferris has taken the lead away. Stravato falls to third. And Jeremiah Vincent moves up to second. Seth Hatchell starting to reel in the 33, the 48 of Stravato. Got a bunch of people cheering on V-Speed teammates and Seth Hatchell. As Jeremiah Vincent pulls down early, kind of a defensive line into turn number 1. And Stravato, not sure what happened to him, might have just gotten loose. No damage on the right side, so not an issue there. Safe Ferris out in front after starting in the second position. He's now led a few laps. And Safe got knocked out of the playoffs in round number 1. A kind of surprise early exit, as he is one of the fastest drivers all season long, just has not had the consistency in the finishes. But right now leading the way at Rockingham and showing his strength here early on, as AJ Stravato passes up Jeremiah Vincent. That's for the second position. See if Stravato can climb back up there towards the front. He's a second behind Safe Ferris, and I'm wondering if he just elected to save his stuff for a couple laps there, knowing that he's running a little bit too fast. And we've got 200 laps here tonight. Take a look a little farther back here. The 70 of Lyle Sulfridge right up in front of him. Jason Perkins all over the back bumper of Lane Sulfridge. We'll see if he can make a move down here, headed into turn number 3, right on the back bumper, backs out of it. Give himself a little bit of space and get a nice run through the center of the corner. Good run there for Perkins, but not able to make the move. Cody Adkins has gotten passed up by Ryan Gemmel. Actually, Alan Dice is the one who's fallen back. Dice drops to 9th. Zach Smith back to 10th now. Justin Carey right here in the 11th position. Both he and Zach needing good runs to catapult themselves up inside the top 8. And right now, definitely outperforming Nick Starling, who rides in the 18th position, and Jeff Pogo. We haven't seen him in the league here. Not sure what happened to Jeff, but he was a winner and the regular season champion, and not showing up tonight. He has essentially eliminated himself from contention in the playoffs as the 21 of Carey. He'll go to the inside of Zach Smith, and we've got some smoke up in front. Maybe some connection problems for the 57. As 20 laps down, and when they get to the line this time, and Safe Fair is out in front, and he's getting stalked now. Stravato starting to reel him in. 2 purple cars up at the front here have broken away from the rest of the field. Jeremiah Vincent still under pressure from Seth Hatchell, but Hatchell just a couple car lengths behind him. And we'll see if Seth is saving his stuff here. He's been so good on long runs this season, and right now just about 3 seconds back of the top 2. And stalking that number 9 machine is behind him Josiah Vincent, starting to close in on that battle as well. And Eric Hutton drifting the wrong direction. He is about 6/10 over Ryan Gemmel, who has found some speed in that number 16. Oh, and we've got Cody Adkins slamming the wall that time out of turn number 2. Big hit there. Let's take a look at the replay. Yeah, that really cost him a lot of momentum, potentially some aerodynamic damage. Almost an eighth of the way through the event here. Lap time's 24.4 seconds at the moment, among the fastest cars, and they've fallen off about a second and a half from the quick times of the race. Fastest lap currently being shown to AJ Stravato with the 22.96, the only driver in the 22s in race pace. And that time by, he was about a tenth faster than Safe Ferris, and he's now just 2 car lengths behind as they work their way around the lap machines of Dennis Steele and Jordan Schepler. And Stravato, look at him close there, headed into turn number 3, really deep in the corner, and that gap down to 1 car length now out of turn number 4. He'll stretch it out just about another half car length, but look at the braking on the 33 as he reels in Ferris. And Seth Hatchell has taken 3rd position away from Jeremiah Vincent, but not making progress towards the lead battle as he is 3 seconds behind. And look at this battle starting to develop. Ryan Gemmel just a couple car lengths behind the 77 of Hutton. These two no strangers to each other. They battled it up last week in the closing laps, or last broadcast at Pocono. And Gemmel getting bested by both Hutton and Stravato at the line. He came home 5th, or 4th rather. Knocked himself out of the podium just a little bit there as the top 2. Oh, and we've got the 33 of Gallion stuck down here on the apron. What happened to Eric Gallion? He had a little incident with the 70 machine. A little net code there. That sends the 70 through the air, and the 33 goes spinning down to the apron. The 70 of Sulfridge gets it back going, but that was out in front of the leaders just a little bit. And Eric Gallion going to have some damage. He brings it to the pit lane here early. Going to be well behind in terms of laps. As look at Stravato. He's going to try and make the move headed into turn number 1. Safe Ferris throws the block there. Going to cut him off headed into that corner and hang on to the lead out of turn number 2. But they have caught lap traffic. Thomas Brendel, the 71 of Lane Sulfridge. Those guys 16th and 17th about to go 1 lap down. Here is Safe Ferris. Oh, he'll get into the back of Brendel. That'll stack up the leaders. Here goes the 44 looking to the inside. 71 of Sulfridge going to get out of the way. And how much damage did that give the 44? As he ran right into the back of the 14. And here comes Stravato still applying the pressure. And look at this battle still developing here. The 16 and the 77. Gemmel was to the inside just a few moments ago and really closing in on the 77, running a very different route through 1 and 2 this time. And Dennis Steele up there on the outside. He's going to catch the wall, nearly get into the 77. And he's wiggling all the way down the backstretch up into the wall in turn number 3. And some drivers already struggling with the tires here as the lead battle has heated up. The 33 of Stravato to the inside of Ferris. And he's going to take that spot away, headed into turn number 3. Can Ferris cross him over here and apply the pressure and kind of reverse rolls? Doesn't look like it is the 33 of Stravato. He'll stretch it out just a couple car lengths now. Hatchell still well behind them, 3.5 seconds. Just pacing himself, trying to keep the tires underneath him. And Jeremiah Vincent not able to keep up with the 8 car. He's starting to fall into the clutches of Josiah Vincent. We've got some battles going on back here. Justin Carey, Alan Dice, Dallas Sullivan. It's the 57 and the 6 have bypassed the 1 of Zach Smith, who currently rides about 14.6 seconds behind your leader. A little bit of nose damage on that race car. And Zach, in need of some points here, comes into this race 2 points on the outside. So we'll see if he pulls any kind of pit strategy at any point to get some track position or get some laps led. Right now, the class of the field, these two out in front. Seth Hatchell losing another half second last time by. As he was working through some lap traffic, really slowed him up. And I think we might have had a crash on the backstretch. Yes, we did. Cody Adkins and Jordan Shepler involved. I think also possibly Justin Carey or Dallas Sullivan. Let's take a look. Taking a look at Cody Adkins here. He was coming up behind the 13 and the 70. As the 13 a little wiggly on the backstretch, he bounces it off the wall. The 31 really nowhere to go, and huge hit for both of those cars. The 57 of Dice just gets by. The 28 of Dennis Steele also sneaking past, and then Zach Smith, he's able to navigate around the wrecked race cars. But man, what a hit for those drivers. Let's go back to that one. Shepler goes flying, and man, what a hit. I think the 57 might have caught him just a little bit, but no damage really apparent on that race car. As the leader's bringing it onto the pit lane, Stravato will lead them down, and he's got the first pit stall. A nice short shot out of the pit lane. And he will win the battle off. Safe Fair is right behind him. Seth Hatchell. And then Jeremiah Vincent. Eric Hutton going to beat Ryan Gemmel. Where is Josiah Vincent? He lost quite a few positions. Jordan Brockle staying on the racetrack for the moment. Has not led a lap just yet. He's got some damage on that race car after catching the wall early on. And he may have been the lucky dog. I'm not exactly sure. As he brings it down the pit lane now. Behind the 68 machine, that is Kyle Payne. The Brandon Brown-esque number 68. As Stravato will retake the lead. You see Eric Gallion. He's going to take a wave around here and get back to 4 laps down, but well off the leaders after getting involved there on the backstretch earlier on in the race. We're going to cut quickly to a commercial break. We'll be right back with the green flag.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time.
Just a quick message there from Below the Double Yellow. Go check those guys out. Obviously, the presenting sponsor of the series. Great podcast. And go check them out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also grab some merchandise over on the V-Speed website. And if you're enjoying the broadcast so far, please consider checking us out over there. And also check out our different social media accounts. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as YouTube. And we will be doing a giveaway when we get to some magic numbers. 500 followers here on Twitch and 200 on Twitter. We are closing in on that number over on Twitter, and we're just a little over 100 away here on Twitch. But appreciate everyone who's followed us over the last couple of months here. Thanks for coming on board, and hope everyone is enjoying the broadcast and having a great night tonight as we are about to get going. back under green. AJ Stravato, Safe Ferris showing the way. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn, and Stravato gonna get a nice restart here. He'll jump out in front of Ferris by at least 3 car lengths, and now Seth Hatchell starting to apply the pressure, but he's not going to get a very good run through 1 and 2, and it looks like Jeremiah Vincent might be able to pass him up, but they're side by side down the backstretch. As Hatchell all the way down to the inside part of that yellow line, he's going to clear the 9 for the moment, but here comes Jeremiah Vincent trying to power back on through, and Gemmel gets into the 9. Ryan Gemmel dove it in deep into turn number 1. Jeremiah Vincent with the save, though. What a great job as the 16 really overdrove the corner. He gets into the side of Vincent. Let's go back and take a look at that. 16 just goes in a little deep, drifts up about a half lane in the 9. Look at that save. Great driving there by Jeremiah Vincent, but he'll drop outside the top 10 right now to 12th position, and going to try and take one of those back from Timothy Emanuele here, headed down into 3 and 4. He dives really deep in the corner. He'll move to 11th now, but Gemmel, a bit of a mistake there, and that's going to make it a bit more difficult on the number 9, and both of those drivers trying to lock themselves in with strong finishes here. And here goes Eric Hutton looking to the inside. Hutton, good friends with the Vincents. I'm sure he's not too happy about the move the 16 just made, and he's putting some serious pressure on Gemmel right now as they dive down into turn number 1 again. Oh, and Hutton, big wiggle there. He got on the apron and able to hang on to it, but some sketchy moments here early on in this run as he goes very wide, and that's going to allow Josiah Vincent down to the inside. He'll take the 5th position away. Meanwhile, the top 2 have broken away again. This is Safe Ferris looking on board with Safe. And right up in front of him, AJ Stravato. Safe has led 25 out of the 46 laps. Stravato's led the rest, but Safe gets into the wall, headed down into turn number 1. Just a little brush, but got to be very careful. I bet he looked over and heard his name on the broadcast, and looked away for just a moment. But AJ Stravato continuing the dominance that he has shown all season long. 7 wins out of the first 15 races, and showing off that speed once again. He won last week at Kentucky, a very different racetrack, and now out in front showing the way at the short track, or shorter track here at the Rock. I don't know if this is technically classified as a short track, but it's still over a mile. And races a lot like a Darlington just because of how bumpy it is. But really, the track layout is much more like a... It's hard to even say. It's almost like an Iowa, but very different in terms of the way the corners are laid out, with the banking and the bumps. And yeah, just a very unique racetrack, very historic racetrack, and a lot of fun to drive. And right now, drivers trying to hang on to it as we're a quarter of the way through the race. And Ryan Gemmel trying to hold off Josiah Vincent, who has arrived at the back bumper. Jeremiah Vincent recovering nicely. He's back up to 8th position and really starting to close in on these cars in front of him. He's one of the fastest on the racetrack, and I think he's maybe a little motivated by what happened to him with the 16 of Gemmel. And he's not very far behind him, so Gemmel's going to have to watch that mirror. As Josiah Vincent starting to put that pressure on, just 2 car lengths behind. This is really one of your closest battles on the racetrack. Brandon Vasquez also battling it up with Timothy Emanuele. His 39 nearly catches the wall. He almost gets into the 19. Here comes the 71 of Sulfridge. He'll move to the inside, but Sulfridge is a lap down. That White Castle Camaro. First car 1 lap down as he's racing it up with Thomas Brendel for that lucky dog position. And only 15 drivers on the lead lap. Jordan Brockle, the last of those. He had an extended pit stop. I believe he was the lucky dog under the last caution flag. And right now, 16 seconds behind the leaders. And probably going to fall off the lead lap once again. So he's got to be very careful. As Stravato just about 7 seconds behind him. Really putting up some great laps here at 23.5. Nobody really within a couple tenths of him, as Safe Fair is starting to fall behind now. 1 second the margin. And we kind of saw this in the early stages of the race. The 48 drove away, and then all of a sudden Safe was in the lead, and then Stravato chased him back down. So I think it was just a small mistake from the 48, and he slipped back. We didn't catch it on the broadcast. Let's take a look here at Zach Smith. Started 12th. He's in 10th position, and Zach needs some points to climb into the top 8 in the standings. As he comes in just 2 points behind Nick Starling, who is the final transfer position to the next round. And Nick in that spot just because of connection problems, or I think he wasn't able to run either last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. And right now Nick has moved up from 20th. He's up to the 11th position, doing exactly what he needs to do. He's got to keep that one car in his sights. Also, Alan Dice, another car to consider. He is only about 9 points above the cut line, and right now riding in 12th, so he is not locked in. He's a little bit more comfortable. But Justin Carey, Zach Smith, Nick Starling, Alan Dice, really the drivers to keep an eye on. They're the closest ones to the cut line, and Alan right now in 12th here behind the other drivers. Justin Carey really the only outlier, as actually Justin up in the 6th position, the best performer so far out of those drivers who are right around the bubble. And he's out in front of Jeremiah Vincent, who's moved back up to the 7th position. And Gemmel has been passed up by Josiah Vincent. So the 16 moving backwards, and the 9 car closing in from behind. He's only got about 0.8 of a second up to the 16 machine, and not sure from that patriotic car if we'll see some fireworks. Between himself and the 16, and we'll just have to find out. But right now Stravato dominating the race. He is out in front by 2.4 seconds and continuing to pull away. Hatchell starting to reel in Safe Fair, as he's just 1 second behind the 44. And again, tonight's race brought to you by Outlaw Desert Racing, their adrenaline therapy service. You know, Adrenaline Therapy 200 tonight from Rockingham Speedway. This is a playoff race for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, and it's the final race in round number 2 of the playoffs. A 200 lap event here, just over 200 miles. And drivers looking to move on to round number 3. Want to thank that sponsor for their support, and want to thank them, if they're watching, for tuning in. And you can check them out at the link in chat here. Give us just 1 second. The link should be right there, so check them out. Give them your support if you're interested in supporting veterans. Right here after Veterans Day, want to thank all the veterans out there for their service and sacrifice for our country and our freedoms. Appreciate you guys so much, and if there's any out there, just want to thank you so much for your service, and thank you for tuning in as well. And so an awesome service provided by Outlaw Desert Racing the adrenaline therapy, and that the sponsor of tonight's event. As this battle for second starting to heat up, Seth Hatchell continues to chop away about a tenth or half-tenth a lap into the margin up to Safe Ferris, and he is pulling away from Josiah Vincent, who has stretched the gap out over Ryan Gemmel. And this battle now heating up for fifth position, as here comes Justin Carey showing some good speed in the first half of this race. He's also got Jeremiah Vincent, the 9 car, who got knocked out of the way by the 16 not too long ago. As right now, here's the 21 looking all over the back bumper. And thank you, Outlaw Desert Racing, for tuning in. And once again, thank you guys so much for sponsoring the event tonight. And it looks like they're cheering on the 68 of Kyle Payne, who rides right now in the 18th position, currently 2 laps off the pace. But he started back in 24th. He has moved up just a bit, trying to advance and continue to run this thing out. But let's take a look at this battle. Ryan Gemmel's been able to pull away just a couple car lengths from Justin Carey, and here comes Jeremiah Vincent all over the back bumper of the 21. This is 6th and 7th playing out. And Dallas Sullivan, a nice quiet run as well. He started in 17th. He's up to 8th position, and he has found some speed in that Krispy Kreme Mustang. See if he has anything to challenge these guys and maybe make his way up into the top 5. We've seen good runs from Dallas this season. I believe he just missed out on the playoffs, but definitely a strong performer at different points throughout the season. Yeah, he comes in here 18th in points, as there was a reset for every driver outside of the playoffs to incentivize them, and there's a prize, a cash prize at the end of the season to keep them participating. We've kept good field sizes here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Still 24 drivers in this race and only a handful of races remaining. So definitely a good job and some interesting ideas. And lots of great racing here. As look at Justin Carey putting pressure on Gemmel, and Gemmel getting a bit defensive headed down into turn number 1. As Justin Carey a bit of a wider arc, trying to get that exit out of turn 2. He will get a good run, just 1 car length separating those drivers. Down into turn number 3, Carey the middle line again, and gonna arc it down, keep that gap right around 1 car length. Gemmel not allowing him to close all that much, but he is closing. Now Gemmel gonna move up and take his line away. He'll arc it down low. Here comes Justin Carey, though. Lots of pressure all over the back bumper, and Jeremiah Vincent, he'll get passed up by Dallas Sullivan. The 6 car drives right on by. Move him up to the 7th position. We haven't talked too much about the leader, AJ Stravato, as he is way out in front, 5 seconds now. He started on the pole, and man, he has been the class of the field. Absolutely dominating performance so far. And I don't know if we would expect anything less from the points leader. A driver with 7 wins, one of only 2 drivers with multiple wins in this league this season. And he has nearly half of them when he wins, if he wins tonight. Not going to give it to him just yet, but if he wins tonight, it will be 8 out of 16 races. So 50% win percentage, which doesn't matter how you slice it, that is absolutely incredible. And right now he has led over 50 laps here in the opening stages of this race. But he's got some competition not too far behind. Safe Ferris and Seth Hatchell, they're not really in striking distance right now. But if things fall a specific way, they definitely have a chance at winning this race as well. They've been the next fastest cars on the speedway. And then Josiah Vincent, who is under pressure. That's the 31 machine back on track. Lots of nose damage. Let's take a look back here. as Gemmel's been able to pull away from Justin Carey about 4 or 5 car lengths. And Carey now under a lot of pressure from Dallas Sullivan, who seems to have found some pace in that number 6 car. So we've got cars blinking all over the track. That is the 68 of Kyle Payne having some connection problems. Sure, they may ask him to take it off the racetrack. That car bouncing in and out of the server. He did it just there once again. But this battle now back underway. The 16 car of Gemmel, he's fallen back to the clutches of the 21. Now here comes Dallas Sullivan starting to put the pressure back on. He'll go defensive down the backstretch to avoid the 9 car making a move. But he is all over that 21 machine, the Outlaw Desert Racing Ford Mustang. Running a very good race here. Started 10th, he's up to 6th, and a driver who needs to have a good performance. He enters this race currently 6 points out from the cut line, but he's going to get passed up now by both Dallas Sullivan and Jeremiah Vincent. So Sullivan up to 6th, Jeremiah Vincent, he'll move to 7th now, recovering from the incident with Ryan Gemmel a bit earlier. And he is now just about 3 or 4 car lengths behind, only separated by Dallas Sullivan from getting to the back bumper of that 16 machine. And race car drivers don't usually forget things, especially within the same race. We'll see if he does anything, just kind of roughs him up just a little bit. But Jeremiah has been very clean and smooth all season long. And I wouldn't expect that to change here. These guys really just trying to keep up the paces. They're over a half lap behind AJ Stravato, who's now increased his lead up to 6 seconds over Safe Ferris and continues to drive away over a 10th faster than anyone else in the field. We'll see if anybody brings it onto the pit lane anytime soon. We are approaching halfway. As this is really one of your closest battles on the racetrack. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Ryan Gemmel, Dallas Sullivan, Jeremiah Vincent, and a little bit behind them now, Justin Carey. Also, Alan Dice starting to reel in that group. As Sullivan was peeking down low, headed into turn number 3. Not able to make it work just yet, but he has been so cautious on turn entry. Gets great runs through the center and on exit. I mean, you'll see here he goes in a bit wider. Very fast in the center. He closes up a whole car length, and on the exit, he is on the back bumper as they get right up behind the 71. Gemmel makes an evasive move to the inside. And Sullivan going to get a nice run into the turn. Wow, the 71 slams the wall, letting those guys pass. 57 of Alan Dice will put another lap on him. But Sullivan going to lose a spot because of that exchange. The 9 car got a good run, and now he's to the back bumper of the 16. And will he take out any kind of revenge on the 16? I'm not sure he will. These two got together just about 30-40 laps ago. Actually, I think it was at the very start of this run, so about 45 laps prior. As it looks like that lead margin has stabilized right around 6 seconds, and Seth Hatchell starting to reel in Safe Ferris. That's the battle for seconds, starting to heat up. I want to keep my eyes on this and see if the 9 car makes any kind of a move here. And these guys continuing to fade. They are running about 0.3 a lap slower than your leader, and right now 14.5 seconds behind. That puts them just about 10 seconds in front of the leader. As the 9 car a bit wide out of turn number 2, he'll lose a little time, and Seth Hatchell has taken second position away as we've got the 32. That Nick Starling spinning on the front stretch. That car's got some nose damage. Let's see what happened to Nick here. He got into Eric Hutton. What happened to Eric Hutton? He well behind. He catches the wall, and wow, big hit. Nick Starling, the last driver on the inside of the cut line, he's got damage. 13th position and a lap down right now, but only 9 drivers on the lead lap as Safe Ferris brings it down the pit lane. Often one of the first drivers to bring it down. And Dennis Steele also making his way off the pit lane. He was the first driver overall. And when does AJ Stravato respond to that? The lap times falling off by a few seconds here over the course of this run. As the 84 Brockle catches the wall right in front of the race leader. And things are getting crazy right now. We've got some cars on pit lane. It looks like Eric Hutton brings it in. He has that damage from the contact with Starling. Jordan Brockle going to bring it on to the pit lane right now as well. He's got a bunch of damage. But we'll see what kind of lap time Safe Ferris runs. 14.5-second pit stop. This time across the line, he runs. We'll have to see it next time by. But Stravato, this time a 25 flat. Safe Ferris already climbing to 13th position is Eric Hutton, Jordan Brockle, and others on the pit lane. He is flying around here right now. Gonna have to try and make up that 6-second margin. There goes Brandon Vasquez to the pit lane, and Ferris this time, he runs a 23 flat, so 2 full seconds knocked off the lead right there. But he is going to have to navigate this traffic. He goes to the inside of the 21, right to the back bumper of the 57. He'll sneak down low here on the exit of turn 4. Alan Dice up the racetrack. So Safe Ferris this time, he runs a 23.8 due to having to navigate all that. He goes right to the back bumper, almost gets into Ryan Gemmel, and this is where the plan kind of backfires. He's got to get through all of this, and I don't think Stravato will even be around this when he makes his pit stop here. He goes to the inside. We'll see what kind of lap time he runs here. But Stravato at 24.9, absolutely flying. That time at 24.3 from Ferris. He'll have to pick up the pace now that he's got some green racetrack in front of him. But I think when it all cycles out, he may inherit the lead. But if Stravato keeps that car out on the speedway for any extended period of time, he's going to end up having much fresher tires when he cycles it out. And only 8 drivers on the lead lap right now. Safe Ferris did make that pit stop. He's the first of the cars who have pitted right now in the 11th position. And only 2 cars in front of him a lap down. Timothy Emanuele coming out of turn number 2, and Safe going through 1 and 2 right now. He puts a lap on Jordan Shepler, who's all the way back 23 laps down in 22nd position. And now Safe going to navigate around some other lap vehicles, but keeping an eye on the top 5. No one making a pit stop. And Stravato still showing the way. Seth Hatchell 6 seconds behind. He's found some speed and able to keep pace with the leader now on the old tires as he tries to work around Timothy Emanuele, but caution flag on the speedway. Looks like the 4 car of Josiah Vincent spins it out on the backstretch possibly. That car heavily damaged. That is bad news for Josiah Vincent. Let's take a look at what happened to him. And that really sucks for Safe Ferris, who gets trapped a lap down, but looks like another event with the car bouncing off the wall. You see the 71 just came onto pit lane. So Safe Ferris makes his way around Josiah Vincent. Dennis Steele up on the outside goes around him. He's also on fresh tires. The 70 hits the wall, the 28 slams the wall, and the 4, an innocent bystander, he gets knocked down into the inside barrier. As a little stack up here on the pit lane. Gemmel and Josiah Vincent kind of rubbing doors there. Gemmel lost a couple spots before the pit cycle. And all that speed and time made up by Safe Ferris, it's all for naught, as he is going to have to take a wave around to be on the lead lap here. And Timothy Emanuele staying out. I believe he was lucky dog, so he will get his lap back here and bring it down the pit lane. But AJ Stravato wins the battle. Dominating performance for the 48. Seth Hatchell behind him in second off of pit road. As we just crossed the halfway mark. Stravato will inherit the lead. A break for a couple drivers out there to get some damage repaired, like Nick Starling. He finds himself one lap down, however, in the 12th position, and really at the mercy of everything that happens in the rest of this race. As it sits, I think he's still in a transfer position. Justin Carey up 5 spots in front of him. If Justin grabs a couple more, he might have a chance to advance to round number 3. And then Zach Smith, the 11th position right now. He's getting some damage repaired. He's also scored 1 lap down, actually. So Zach and Nick right here next to each other, both damaged race cars. We're going to cut quickly to a side-by-side commercial break, and we'll be right back with the green flag.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create.
Back to the racetrack now. Green flag back in the air. Stravato, good jump there. And Dallas Sullivan, also a good restart. He'll get to the inside of Seth Hatchell straight away. But Hatchell looks like he's going to be able to power around the outside here and clear for that battle for second. But the 6 gets a good run out of turn 2. And he'll look back to the inside, headed down into turn number 3. Look at Stravato already 3/4 of a second out in front. Absolutely gone. 1 second now. He ran a 23.9 to Hatchell's 24.6, and the gap now 1 second between those two. Already Hatchell at a disadvantage. Safe Ferris did take a wave around. He's right now the 10th position on the racetrack, and on 14-lap-old tires going to be a bit slower than the rest of these guys, but Safe has been very quick all race long, so I think he'll get a couple of these back at least. But he's got to navigate his way around some of these slower lap cars. Meanwhile, Jeremiah Vincent back up to the 4th position. Great recovery drive by the 9, who climbed up into the top 5 before the caution. And he'll look to the inside. Dallas Sullivan going to let him take that spot. And the 6 car very conservative on the opening laps of these runs. And he seems to climb up towards the front as the race goes on. But 107 laps down. Let's do a quick race recap and rundown of the field. 2 cautions, 2 lead changes. So not a lot of activity at the front because it has been absolutely dominated by this guy, AJ Stravato. 82 laps led out of 107. And continuing to march away. But Seth Hatchell actually keeping him honest right now. Running 1.2 seconds behind him. Hatchell started third. He's up here in second. Behind him, Jeremiah Vincent in third after starting in the 6th position. Ryan Gemmel up 7 spots to the 4th position. Has really found some speed here in this race. Dallas Sullivan, great run, up 12 spots from the 17th starting position. Josiah Vincent, a heavily damaged race car. He's still up here in 6th somehow, carrying a lot of speed and keeping that car up in the top 10. Justin Carey, who needs as many points as he can get. He's riding in 7th right now after starting in 10th. And some opportunities for some points up there in front of him. Alan Dice rides 8th after starting in the 9th position. He's a playoff driver looking for points. Safe Farah is currently 9th position. He passes up Timothy Emanuele on the lead lap here after Safe started 2nd. He has led 25 laps. Only driver to lead laps other than AJ Stravato. Timothy Emanuele, last driver on the lead lap, about a half lap down already. Currently in the 10th position. So only 10 drivers on the lead lap. First car 1 lap down, Zach Smith, who needs 2 points to climb in to the top 8 in the standings. But Nick Starling, who he's fighting with, right there behind him. And those two, the only ones 1 lap down. Brandon Vasquez, 2 laps down in 13th. Thomas Brendel in 14th, 2 laps down. He's up 8 spots. Good run. Even though he's 2 laps down, still up some positions. Lyle Sulfridge up 6 spots from where he started. He was involved in the last wreck. Lane Sulfridge back here in 16th. He pitted right before the previous caution, and that caught him a few laps down. Kyle Payne back here in 17th. Eric Gallion, after starting from pit road, he was one of the faster cars on the track and ultimately got caught up in an incident back here 5 laps down. Dennis Steele 5 laps down in 19th. Jordan Brockle in 20th position. He has struggled with that car tonight. Eric Hutton currently off the racetrack. So Hutton, who is going to advance no matter what, he calls it a night. And his race is over. Jordan Shepler back on the speedway, 24 laps down. Cody Adkins, last of the drivers racing. He is currently 33 laps down, 23rd position. And Jason Perkins, 24th. He is out of the race, 94 laps down, is at the front. The gap still around 1.3 seconds, 1.4 now between Stravato and Hatchell. As Jordan Brockle going to bring it back down the pit road. But how much can you say about AJ Stravato? He has dominated the season. And caution going to fly once again. The 14 of Brendel involved here through turns 3 and 4. What happened to Thomas? Take a look here at Thomas Brendel, the 14 machine. He was working to the outside of the 70 car. Just goes very wide out of turn number 2. Nick Starling works to his inside. And then the 71 machine of Lane Sulfridge just a little too deep into the turn. He takes out the 14. He spins up into Cody Adkins. And man, Cody, just nowhere to go in that instance. He's able to keep it pointed in the right direction overall. Good job there, but the 14 taking some heavy hits. He's going to continue to drop. As it looks like leader's going to stay on, or going to bring it down pit road. Justin Carey going to stay on the racetrack right now. And you see Zach Smith, he gets his lap back, so that's a good thing for Zach. And very important point there for Justin Carey to lead that lap. He really needs the bonus point as he comes in here 6 points below the cut line. Every point he can get going to be beneficial for him. And how much does this help out Safe Ferris, who was off on the pit strategy, got trapped a lap down there, and now getting some damage repaired on the race car, it appears. But he's going to be on the lead lap with equal tires, and he was second fastest out there for good margin. Is Justin Carey going to bring it on to the pit lane this time? That'll allow a few other cars to take a wave around here. Looks like Nick Starling, he'll be able to cycle out onto the lead lap as well. He's got to keep that one car in his sights. The only way of really doing that is to take a wave around. You know what? We're going to try and talk with somebody here. Let's see who we've got in the field tonight. Talk with Mr. Alan Dice, if I can find him here. If we're not getting the green or the one to go just yet. Yeah, we'll pull Mr. Dice up in. Alan Dice, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Alan, you're looking really strong out there tonight. You've been up in the top 10 all race long, able to keep the car pretty clean. And you come in here just a few points above the cut line. It looked like 9 points entering the race. You feeling the pressure here tonight, or you feeling pretty good about your car?
I'm feeling pretty good. Just trying to keep it clean, stay out of the mess, you know. Rockingham's a tough one, but honestly, if I can come away with like a top 10 or even just outside, I'll be all right with it.
Yeah, not too many cars on the lead lap right now, just 12 as a couple took a wave around. But you find yourself up here near the top 5. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you get back racing here?
Yeah, not sure who's watching. I think my buddy Cedric might be watching, so shout out to him. Alex, I think my dad is watching, so shout out to those guys. And thanks to you for doing such a great broadcast each week.
Thank you, sir, and good luck the rest of the way. Maybe we'll talk to you at the end.
Hopefully. See you soon.
All right, that's Alan Dice from Team Loaded Dice Racing. He rides 6th position right now, and looking pretty good out there to advance as long as he keeps the car pretty clean. But right now, the field a little bit reset. We got some cars back on cycle, some cars back on the lead lap, and AJ Stravato going to try and hold them all off like he's done all race long. So we wait for that pace car to make the hard left-hand turn. There he goes. Stravato gets going. Good restart again, and Hatchell caught sleeping. He's got his teammate looking to the inside now. That's Gemmel trying to challenge for 2nd position. Hatchell way up the racetrack, nearly catches the wall there. We've seen Seth struggle in that outside line. Definitely not the preferred way through 1 and 2, but not too bad on this end of the racetrack. But he's going to lose a couple spots as Gemmel moves to 2nd. Jeremiah Vincent going to move to 3rd, and here goes the 9. Going to peak down low here in turns 1 and 2. This is where these two got together about 80 laps ago, and Gemmel not going to be able to hold him off, as it looks like Vincent going to clear him down here into turn number 3. And here comes Hatchell. He'll make his way back around his teammate, move up into the 3rd position as Gemmel gets a bit loose. And here comes Safe Ferris, shot out of a cannon up to 5th position already. You know, he's trying to recover after a bold strategy call didn't work out for him. And I'm not sure if these guys are going to have to make a pit stop. It'll be over 80 laps before the end of the race. And here's another yellow flag, the 33 of Eric Gallion involved on the backstretch. Also possibly the 13 of Jordan Shepler. Let's take a look at what happened here. Oh, it didn't even start with either of those drivers. Let's take a look at Dennis Steele. Dennis goes way up the racetrack. We've seen a lot of drivers try that line, and it's really not the way around here as he catches the wall. 33 slams right into him. And I think somebody else got into them. Like the 19 possibly of Brandon Vasquez. He gets into the back bumper. Big hit for Vasquez. It was just one lap down after taking a wave around. And he's got some damage added to the Joker machine, and I don't think he'll get the lucky dog because of that. So lucky dog might go to Lyle Selfridge. It does appear that is the case, so the 70 going to get the lucky dog. He'll get back to one lap down as the leaders, most of the leaders electing to stay out. Nick Starling, who's back on the lead lap, he'll get a chance to pit here. I think Justin Carey brought it down the pit lane, though. He takes 2 tires and fuel. And Josiah Vincent trying to get some more work done to that number 4 car. He gets 4 tires. We'll see if he gets more damage repaired back around next time. That is caution number 4. We had a nice long run in the middle of this race, and now we've had about 2 or 3 cautions now back to back. But we ran for, I believe it was about 60 laps, 65 laps in the midsection of this race. And just over 75 to go. And give us your choice for who you think is going to win tonight. Is it going to be AJ Stravato, who's dominated, or is it going to be someone else? Can Safe Ferris get back up there and challenge? Can it be Seth Hatchell? Can anyone find the speed to challenge Stravato? Let us know who you are rooting for and who you think is going to come out on top here tonight. As we currently have just 12 cars on the lead lap. Nick Starling on the pit lane getting damage repaired in 32 machine. And he will pull off the pit lane right now. 35-second pit stop. Still more damage to be repaired on that car. Brandon Vasquez, he's on the pit lane now. And after missing out on the lucky dog, quite a bummer for him. He'll have to battle now with Lyle Solfridge to be in contention for that lucky dog. He was the only car 1 lap down, but made some contact there. So the field goes 2 wide once again. If you're just joining us, you're watching the Adrenaline Therapy 200 presented by Outlaw Desert Racing, providing a great service to veterans with their adrenaline therapy. Rockingham Speedway here tonight. This is the final race of round 2 of the playoffs in the NASCAR below the Double Yellow Cup Series. And we are past halfway, and it has been a very good race, dominated so far by AJ Stravato, who will once again have control on this restart. Can he get another stellar jump on the field, or will the 9 car of Jeremiah Vincent have any shot? As he kind of waits up a little bit, starts easing forward. The Stravato machine gets going once again, and now the battle for second as Hatchell gets the better jump in the preferred line. Down into turn number 1, he's going to clear the 9 car straight away and move back to the second spot. So Seth Hatchell doing a good job on this restart to hang on, and only 3/10 behind. This is the closest he has been to Stravato all race long, other than the early stages of this event. You'll see how the cars on fresh tires do as Justin Carey goes around Timothy Emanuele. That's 9th position and just a few laps on everyone else's tires, but fresh Goodyear Eagles on the 21 and the 4, as well as the 32, the 19, the 70. Josiah Vincent still all that nose damage, unable to be repaired by his team. He's got Nick Starling right there behind him. Nick, as they run, would be out of the playoffs, so he's got to find a few more spots. He's got to hope that 1 car of Zach Smith starts falling backwards. His teammate, both of them right around the cut line. Now how about this? Seth Hatchell not letting Stravato get out too far from him. If there was ever a time to challenge the leader, it is now past halfway. A heat cycle on the tires. Maybe that's the key. Maybe they're a bit more equal right now. As Hatchell keeping him honest, actually closed in a bit out of turn number 2 right there. Got to trust his race car just a bit more, I think. As he's got the 9 car of Jeremiah Vincent rather, all over his back bumper. So gonna start being some pressure here for second. And AJ Stravato just over a quarter second. Safe Fair is up to 4th now. Ryan Gemmel rides in the 5th position. We've seen a couple incidents with Ryan here tonight, but overall very good run. As the car that he made contact with earlier actually up here in 3rd position, so no harm done overall, but a bit of work for Jeremiah to get back up into this spot. And how about Zach Smith doing exactly what he needs to do to advance? Currently 5 spots up in front of Nick Starling, and Zach just 2 points below the cut line coming in. Justin Carey came in. He is 6 points below, but he did lead a lap, so that gets knocked down to 5, and right now he is currently in 8th position. Nick Starling in 12th back there, so if he can get up in front of Zach Smith, we may have a tie for that position. And that would definitely throw a wrench in things. Actually, Zach would probably be... Yeah, Zach would advance at that point. So it's going to be a bit of crunching numbers at the end of this thing. I think the way they're running, it's going to be very close on points. Kind of like what we saw in the NASCAR Cup Series at Martinsville. Oh, as the 1 car gets a tap from Justin Carey. 21 much faster through the center of the turn there. He gets into the back bumper of the 1. Meanwhile, at the front, Seth Hatchell still battling it out with Jeremiah Vincent, and AJ Stravato is driven away now over 1 second in front of these two. So it is the AJ Stravato show here tonight at Rockingham. He has led over 100 laps. So locking himself up as most laps led and continuing to lead laps after starting on the pole. He is absolutely flying out here, that time by about over a tenth faster actually than anyone else on the racetrack. He has this place figured out, that is for sure. And nobody really able to touch him in terms of their pace. Seth Hatchell the closest one, and he's still a tenth off. Yeah, that time by almost 2 tenths off. So Hatchell going to have to dig deep and find something if he wants a challenge for a win. Otherwise, it's going to be best of the rest for the 8 car here tonight. And Jeremiah Vincent trying to be in that position as well. Safe Fair is not far behind. He's made a great recovery for getting trapped a lap down and then having to take a wave around, climbing back up from about 10th or 11th position, and now up here in the 4th spot. Justin Carey makes a pass on Zach Smith. I think the 1 car caught the wall. Let's take a look here at what happened. He just lets the 21 on pass, doesn't catch the wall, so Justin Carey just making a clean pass there. And Zach in danger of falling behind Alan Dice as well. Alan's had a good run in the 9th spot right now. Just a very quiet race, doing exactly what he needs to do to advance, coming in about 8 points above the cut line. Then Josiah Vincent back here, he's dropped to 10th position. Not a surprise with the damage on that race car. And he's got to make sure that the engine doesn't expire, because he is not a lock. He is 20 points above the cut line right now. And as they run, that is still the case. Still roughly 20 points up, but he's got to be careful. If the engine expires on that and somebody somehow gets up there to win the race, things could get shaken up. Josiah Vincent could be in danger of falling out, so he's going to keep that car running and make sure he's watching the temps. So AJ Stravato pulls a 2-second lead now over second place. And we do want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Of course, you're watching us here on V-Speed, the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. This is the elimination race in round number 2 of the playoffs. You can check us out on all these different social media outlets if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. Keep up with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series as we've got a car in the wall. That's Jordan Shepler, I believe, slamming the inside wall in front of your race leader. And Jordan has had a rough night, 24 laps down. He's got no front end, no back end. And I think he's going to bring it to the pit lane right here and perhaps call it a night, perhaps take it behind the wall. Let's see here. Shepler going to go a couple more laps down at least. Jordan Brockle still on the pit lane as well. Cody Adkins is on the racetrack. He is 33 laps down. He'll gain a couple spots here as Eric Gallion has taken it behind the wall with Dennis Steele also out of the race. In about 4 laps here, he will take over 19th position. And if Shepler takes it behind the wall, then Cody will take over 18th position. And then everyone else at least 30 laps ahead of him. So he's running out of time to be able to advance positions. If they make it another 20 or 25 laps, that's going to be it. And right now, everybody fairly spaced out. The closest battle on track for 3rd position. Safe Fair is all over the back bumper of Jeremiah Vincent. And that is the tightest battle on the racetrack. Everybody else at least separated by a half second or more. But on board with Safe Fair is the number 44 car. He's led 25 laps, trying to get back up into podium position. You can see he's got some good speed out of turn number 4 right now, up to the back bumper. Gonna look to the inside, headed into turn 1. Real late braking there. It's the 9 car up the racetrack. Safe gonna try and work underneath, and he will clear the 9 car out of turn 2. So give that 3rd position back to Safe Ferris. Behind them, Ryan Gemmel actually starting to reel that group in. So Gemmel up here in 5th position, just 4/10 back now of Jeremiah Vincent. And then a little ways back to Dallas Sullivan, about 3/4 of a second that margin. Dallas, 6 car running in 6th position. Nice quiet run again. We've mentioned it before. He's gained a lot of spots in this race, up 11 from where he started. So very impressive run from Dallas tonight, and he's stayed on the lead lap all race long. That car looks very clean. He's had no issues whatsoever. Right now leads the drivers really fighting around the cut line. Justin Carey in 7th. Showing the way for those drivers, and then Alan Dice, who is pretty well safe where he's running in 8th position. Zach Smith in 9th now. He came in 2 points below the cut line. Josiah Vincent back in 10th. Timothy Emanuele, who needed a lot more points than what he's going to get in this event, running in 11th right now, but he has kept that car pretty well clean as well. And on some older tires than Nick Starling, who's starting to reel him in, but still has 2.2 seconds to go. Nick currently the last car on the lead lap in 12th. And the fate of his playoff hopes resting in the hands of Zach Smith, Justin Carey, and others who have currently put themselves in position to advance over Nick. As he came in just 2 points above the cut line, and right now he rides 3 spots behind Zach and 5 spots behind Justin. So he'd have a tie with Justin, and then I think Zach would have 1 point over him. So right now looking like Zach Smith, if he can hang on to the 9th position, or if he can gain something here, he would advance. If Justin Carey can get up there and start chasing down some of these guys, he might have a shot at this as well. He needs I think he needs 1 or 2 more positions to be able to move on. Dallas Sullivan is driving away from him right now, 2.4 seconds up the road. So not looking likely that Justin's going to be able to get up there and challenge for 6th position. But we have seen these guys, Ryan Kemmel, Jeremiah Vincent, we've seen them get together. And we've also seen Ryan kind of fade on the longer run here tonight as he gets on the apron just a touch. And it'll be 40 laps to go as AJ Stravato crosses the start-finish line. Currently a 3-second lead and pulling away the number 48 car. We're going to cut to a quick side-by-side, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call Adrenaline Therapy. In doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy. Don't look now, but fuel conservation becoming a factor here is AJ Stravato coasting into the turns. Is Seth Hatchell doing the same thing? He closed the gap up to around 2 seconds. And now that gap growing back up to 3 seconds. He is also clutching headed into the corner. And the margin growing once again. So Stravato maybe saving enough that he can make it from here. But that car sounds very quiet in the middle of the corners. But we just threw a wrench in things. If AJ Stravato can't make it, that opens this race wide open. Drivers like Justin Carey, who pitted a few laps later. What's his situation? He's staying on the throttle, currently 8 seconds back. His lap time's not falling off at all. Also, Josiah Vincent. He pitted closer to the, he pitted 6 laps after everyone else. Also, Zach Smith, not on that strategy. So Nick Starling has reeled him in. Starling now up to 12th. Zach Smith has faded to 11th position. A little bit of playoff drama as Justin Carey still trying to track down Dallas Sullivan. He has started to reel him in. And Justin has enough fuel to make it, I think, as he works around the 71 machine. So Justin Carey, keep an eye on that 21. If he can get a couple more spots, that will be enough for him to move on in the playoffs. And what a clutch run that would be. A very good performance tonight. He's been up here right around 6th position, 6th, 7th position. And still 2 seconds behind Dallas Sullivan. The 19 car, Vasquez, sitting on the backstretch, I think. Oh, he is spun out here. He's got to be very careful to not back up into the track. No yellow flag flying for that. What happened with Brandon? He made contact. Oh, and Nick Starling was involved. Nick Starling collecting more damage. And he's got to watch those engine temps. About to go 1 lap down to AJ Stravato. And Safe Ferris has moved to 2nd place. He's taken over that spot and starting to reel in the 48. We knew something had to break here, and it's the fuel mileage game that's the factor we didn't expect. And Safe Ferris, he's just pushing that car. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it or if he saved a lot under yellow. And how much would it have benefited these drivers to have come down and not have to save it all, as now the margin just 2 seconds between Stravato and Ferris. And the 44 going to get up there, and I think he's going to have to push the 48 to drive harder. I think that's all he's trying to do as Stravato picks up the pace once again. But that time still a 10th slower than Safe Ferris, and he's trying to pull a draft from the 32, I think. And Nick Starling, he's trying to stay on the lead lap desperately, trying to stay in contention here as he goes way up the racetrack. There goes Stravato, now the 32 a lap down, but in lucky dog position. Brandon Vasquez is going to bring it down here. And that leaves just 11 on the lead lap. Next car to go a lap down will be Zach Smith, who rides about 3 seconds up in front of your leader. Safe Ferris is not closing anymore. That margin still 2 seconds as Stravato has picked up the pace. This time by, though, Ferris is about 2.5 tenths faster. And 20 laps to go. If Stravato can run a little bit quicker than this, He could save the fuel and hang on, but Safe Ferris, I don't know if he's going to have enough. If he saved already, he is really closing now. That margin down to 1.5 seconds as he picks up another 0.3 there. And Stravato hits the wall, I think. What happened right here? He coasted way into the corner and just did not have the steering, but your leader hits the wall, and Safe Fair is starting to smell blood in the water. Can he get up there? As it looks like Ryan Gemmel brings it to pit lane. Jeremiah Vincent just brought it down as well, or he's just on pit lane right now. Perhaps a speeding penalty, I'm not sure. It says, oh, just a short stop, 2 tires and fuel. See how that affects the handling. Is AJ Stravato taking a look from the back. You can see Safe Ferris back there, and AJ clutching so early into these corners as Safe Ferris started doing anything to save fuel. Just not using brakes. He is just lifting a bit. That's his method of saving, and he is starting to reel in the 48. He's not clutching at all. He's just lifting. But you can see the leader not too far up the road. Stravato right here behind Thomas Brendel, and that's a welcome sight to have a couple cars provide a little draft, but that 14 car goes up the racetrack. Not going to be any drafting help. As laps are winding down, heard a car in the wall somewhere on the track. And how about Seth Hatchell, still 2.3 back? Does he have enough to make it? Justin Carey has moved to 6th position. He's passed up the cars that took it down the pit lane, and he should be good on fuel. And he is staring down 5th place in a potential opportunity to advance, as Nick Starling is taking it behind the wall, I think, or he's having connection problems. 2 laps down is what it's showing right now. But we have to keep an eye on Justin Carey. Can he get up there and drive his way into the playoffs? Into the round of 8 is AJ Stravato still maintaining a lead, 1.2 seconds now over Safe Ferris, and I think Safe is going to run out of fuel if he continues to run this kind of pace. But he might know better than me. That gap's still 1.2 seconds. Seth Hatchell starting to reel those guys in. He's closed that gap up to 1.9. Can Hatchell win for the second time in this round by saving fuel a little bit better than these guys? As he goes to the back bumper of Zach Smith, the 1 car not going to let him by all that easily, as Zach trying to work his way into the playoffs. Right now, he might be in position to do so. It's going to be very close between himself and Justin Carey. And Justin, he's got 4 seconds to go, 7 seconds to, hold on, this is not updating correctly, I don't think. Not sure what's going on with Justin. There we go, that's updated now. 3.7 back of Alan Dice. But how about this? Safe Fair is a half-second margin to the leader. You can see them right now on the screen at the same time. Stravato saving fuel. That's allowing Hatchell and Ferris to catch up. Can Stravato hang on? He has dominated this race. 162 laps led. He hit the wall just a few laps ago. How much did that affect the speed of that race car and his fuel mileage? As Safe Fair is trying to close the gap. Hatchell trying to hold off Dallas Sullivan, who's closed back in. And here comes Ryan Gemmel on fresh tires. He's trying to get a lap back, get up there and race with Jeremiah Vincent as Hatchell goes way up the racetrack. Here goes Dallas Sullivan. Yellow flag flies. The 21 of Justin Carey involved. Disaster for Justin Carey, who had himself set up to move on potentially. He is involved here. Yellow flag flies. That throws a wrench in everyone's plans. And not any fault of his own. Justin Carey in just the wrong place, the wrong time, and Thomas Brendel, the car causing the issue here. Just so slow in the middle of the corner. Just slams the outside wall and then down in front of the 21. Not what you want to see from a car that's running 6 laps down, taking out a championship contender. And Thomas Brendel has continued to struggle here this race. And that might be the end of his night, as AJ Stravato going to lead the field down. And he was losing that lead. Will anyone try 2 tires and fuel? Doesn't look like it. As Safe Ferris wins the battle off pit road. There goes Seth Hatchell. What happened to Stravato? Stravato's stalled the car, I think. Now he's rolling. He'll come out of the pit 7th. AJ Stravato, 165 laps led. He's going to have some work to do on this last restart. That changes everything, as Jeremiah Vincent now your leader. Will he bring it down here? He just pitted 12 laps ago, and he is going to bring it down. He took 2 tires under green, and Seth Hatchell will inherit the lead. Did not expect any of this to happen. How much is AJ Stravato kicking himself right now? And Justin Carey, man, what a bummer for him. He still has an opportunity to move on, as Zach Smith and Nick Starling are trapped a lap down. Justin is in 9th position. And you got to give props to that 32 car. He has just grinded this thing out, and he is still in position to advance, riding right now behind Zach Smith. He's got 66 laps on this set of tires, and man, that car has seen better days, that is for sure. And if he does bring it down, he will go another lap down. So he is going to bring it in. So interesting call there. He won't be on the same lap as his closest competitor, Zach Smith. And the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge. Not sure what he's up to. I thought he might be like a lucky dog recipient, but that is not the case. And wave around cars will go around here, including Ryan Gemmel and others. Leaving 10 cars on the lead lap. Gemmel is last car on the lead lap. A little older tires here, so not going to be the finish that he wanted after running up in the top 5 basically all race long. Seth Hatchell going to have control of this one. Is he going to be able to take it home here tonight for his 2nd victory in this round? Or is Dallas Sullivan an outsider, not a playoff contender? He's run so well in this event. Is he going to have a shot at it here tonight, or will it be Timothy Emanuele, who needs to win to advance? Or will it be Alan Dice, who's already in pretty good shape if he finishes where he's running? Really, if he gets a top 10, he's good to go. But we will see. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn onto pit road, and Hatchell in control. Green flag back in the air. Good restart by Hatchell, but also a good start by Dallas Sullivan as he gets up through the gears after initially spinning the tires. And only 5 laps to go. Can Seth Hatchell hang on and win his 2nd race of the year? Timothy Emanuele goes around down here on the apron, trying to get back pointed in the right direction. Green flag still in the air, and Seth Hatchell still hanging on to it. 3 car lengths in hand over the 6 machine, and Seth Hatchell, he's now just led 4 laps. AJ Stravato, fastest car all race long. He's up to 5th now, but might not be able to repeat a win after last week with the pit road mistake, and Hatchell pulling away, but not by much. Sullivan keeping him honest, still 0.2 the gap and 3 laps to go here. Seth Hatchell, the 8 car, he bided his time. He gets loose out of turn 2. That allows the 6 to close back in, and Alan Dice also up in the mix. Josiah Vincent, look at that car. He's in 4th. 2 laps to go. Seth Hatchell has only 8 more corners for his second victory. He's already locked in. He's got to hold off Dallas Sullivan. That 6 car charging in the second half of this race. He's been so good. But Seth Hatchell, he's a little bit better right now, especially on this end of the racetrack. He pulls out in front now, 3/10. White flag in the air. Seth Hatchell on his way. If he can make it around one more time. But how about Alan Dice? AJ Stravato trying to climb back up here and save Ferris also. Justin Carey kind of hovering around that cut line. I don't think it's going to be enough, but we'll have to find out. Seth Hatchell, he's going to win at Rockingham for his 2nd win of the year and 2nd one of round number 2 in the below the double yellow Cup Series. Congratulations, Seth Hatchell. What a race here. What a crazy sequence of events in the end. And Hatchell, who ran pretty much runner-up all race long, he winds up winning this thing. What a run from Hatchell. And what a disappointment for AJ Stravato. I am sure he comes home in 5th position after a poor pit stop. And Hatchell, he's going to go an extra lap to make sure he actually won this thing. It feels like he just got it handed to him. But man, what a race. And these playoff races have not failed to disappoint. Thank you so much for tuning in, Outlaw Desert Racing. Thank you guys for sponsoring and catching Seth Hatchell's victory here tonight. And we're going to take a look at the standings real quick. It looks like Justin Carey finished 8th. Zach Smith finished 11th. Nick Starling 13th. We may have a 3-way tie at the cut line. We're going to have to hear from league officials. I think Starling will get it by nature of his victory earlier in the season, but man, it is going to be tight. Zach Smith beating Nick by 2 spots. Justin Carey beating him by 5 spots, plus a lap led. Who knows how this is going to shake out. So congratulations to Seth Hatchell. We're going to cut to commercial break really quickly. Hopefully we can get some word on the point standings, and we will be right back with the post-race interviews. The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call Adrenaline Therapy. Doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to be broadcasting the Below the Double Yellow 2020 Cup Series, starting July 30th, Thursdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retail. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to Drops.com. The first one's on us.
And we are back at the racetrack, about to pull up our race winner. Seth Hatchell, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Seth, it took you a long time to get win number 1, but it didn't take you very long to get win number 2. Kind of a crazy finish to this one, and we saw people running out of fuel or getting close to it. You were saving, closing in, and you lead the last 8 laps on the way to victory. I think both races now that you've won, you've led 8 laps. I think the car number might have something to do with it, but how'd you get it done here tonight?
Yeah, really long race here tonight, and I like this track a lot. I know my teammate Ryan doesn't, but I've run a couple races here before, and I really like the place a lot. Just trying to save tires, pretty much the entire race. I knew pretty early AJ had us covered by a good bit. The first couple of runs, I think I just burned my stuff up too much compared to him. Being out front, he was able to sort of control the pace, and I don't know, maybe if it would have stayed green there, I maybe would have had a shot. I was about a lap to the good there on fuel. We started lifting, super early. I was lifting, I think, start-finish line, putting the clutch in, and just sort of like slipping the clutch to try and get the turn when I needed it to. So I don't know. I think AJ said he was maybe going to be short. I may have ended up second or so, but I don't know how you get much luckier than the top 2 speeding down pit road with 5 to go there. So, but nonetheless, I'm pretty happy to win here.
Yeah, 2 victories now in round number 2, and going to add to your playoff point total, and that'll definitely help your chances of making it to the finale in Homestead. But we got a few races between now and then. We start with Kansas, and then we got Richmond and Talladega. How are you feeling about the next round?
Kansas ought to be tough. It can be pretty hard to pass there the way it is in iRacing with the tire model. Once we get a few laps in, it'll be everybody at the top, and then passes will just have to be slide jobs, or you're able to get a really good run off of turn 4. Richmond, I'm really looking forward to. It's been a little while since I've run Richmond, but it's fairly similar to the way you run this. You run pretty shallow entries and are able to hook the line a lot, and you can really showcase how good you are at saving tires. So hopefully it ends up a lot like this race. And then I apologize, I can't remember the third race. I think you said Talladega or Daytona.
Yeah, Talladega.
Yeah, that's Talladega. We'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully we're not in a position where we need to finish, really well there. But if we do, me and Ryan are really good at that super speedway stuff, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, we'll see if you can follow up the success here in round 2 and next round in round 3, and 2 wins here. That adds to, well, those are your first 2 this season after a really consistent performance all year. You finally break through and 2 times in this round, but great race here tonight. You start third, lead 8 laps on the way to victory. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, I gotta thank you, Adam, for doing a great job with the broadcast. So everybody in my family can see them. I go back, see them when they're over. Just good stuff. Gotta thank the race sponsor, Journal Therapy, also Outlaw Desert Racing, all the other sponsors of the league here. Nick and the admins, he does a great job with the league. The drivers here, and my team V-Speed.
Awesome, Seth. Well, congrats on win number 2. A great race from you here tonight and a lot of fun to watch. So go celebrate, and we'll catch you next week at Kansas.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, that was Seth Hatchell, your race winner, second time in round number 2. He takes it home for Team V-Speed. Let's go to second place finisher Dallas Sullivan, who gave him a run for his money. Dallas Sullivan, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Adam, I do. How you doing?
Well, not too bad, and feeling like you're probably doing pretty well yourself. You finished second here tonight, and man, you were the biggest mover. You were charging there at the end, and you had a shot at it. What'd you do here tonight to put yourself in position to have a shot at this thing?
Man, what a race. I finally put one together from start to finish. No pit road speeding, no bad pit calls. Feels really good. Talked to you a couple times earlier in the season and just haven't been able to put them together. So I just felt really, really good on the long runs, saving tires. On that last run before the yellow with 10 to go or whatever, it was good on fuel. The guys in front of me were questionable. I just was feeling really good about that race.
Yeah,
Caution came out. Things happened on pit road I saw, but I think we still came out about where we were going to finish.
Yeah, you were closing in on the top 3 there really fast in the closing laps, and looking like you could have easily taken away the victory here at the pace you were running. But yeah, definitely, we mentioned it early in the broadcast. You definitely showed speed at a few races earlier this year. I think you led quite a few laps at New Hampshire, and there was another race right around that time in the season. And you looked like you had a good shot at a victory at some point, in the season. And tonight, maybe the best opportunity. But man, what a run. You gained 15 spots here tonight to finish second. So congrats on that. We head to Kansas next week. What are your thoughts on that track?
I've had fun at Kansas before, running that high line, so we'll see if it works out. It's been a while since I ran a Cup car there, so we'll see how it plays out. Put a couple practice laps down next Tuesday and kind of go from there.
Yeah, and we'll see if you can follow up the success here. A very different style of racetrack, but a lot of props to you here tonight. You ran a fantastic race. We pointed you out multiple times up there in the top 10, and you climbed up into the top 5, and right here at the end in position to win. So got to feel quite confident about that. So congrats on second place. And anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, appreciate you, Adam, first of all, putting these broadcasts on each week. You do a great job. Of course, thanks to Nick and Zach, Jordan for hosting this league, Adrenaline Therapy sponsoring this race. I'm going to give a shout out to my brother. I don't know if he's watching right now or not, but he's got a newborn girl at home hanging out. So congrats to him, and see if I can talk to you next week.
Awesome, Dallas. Well, congrats for your brother there. Congrats on the second place, and hopefully we will talk to you next week. So have a great night. Go celebrate.
Appreciate you. Take care.
All right, that was Dallas Sullivan, second place finisher. Great run from him tonight. Definitely his best of the season. Let's go to third place finisher, Mr. Alan Dice. Alan Dice is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Alan, we talked to you earlier on. Thought we might be talking to you later on. Right now, that is definitely the case. You come home third here tonight. You ran up in the top 10 all race long, and man, you were up there in contention to win this thing. What happened there in the end? And Do you think you were maybe going to be able to get this thing?
Yeah, I tried to push it pretty hard on that final restart there, and used up my tires, I think, more than I wanted to in the first 3 or 4 laps, and then just kind of had to settle in. Didn't really have much for them there at the closing laps, but I was really happy to come home third. I mean, I was, like I told you earlier, really digging for that top 10, try to secure myself in the next round, but top 3, that's the best finish all year, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, definitely coming up clutch when you needed to. You came in, I believe it was 8 points or so above the cut line, so had a bit of a buffer, but definitely not a safe margin. And to come away third, you beat everybody you needed to by a good distance. Definitely secured yourself into next round, so congrats on that. And speaking of next round, we head to Kansas next week to kick that round off. How are you feeling about that race?
Yeah, I had to get some practice laps in there. It's been a while since I drove it. I do like that outside line, so we'll see how it goes. Really impressed with this group of drivers, though, because we came into this race thinking it was going to be a caution fest, and honestly, it wasn't. So, hoping for the same type of race at Kansas, and we'll do some practice laps and try to be up toward the front there as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun to watch here tonight. Good green flag runs for multiple portions of this. I think we had a pit cycle starting at one point, kind of got interrupted by that one caution. But yeah, definitely a fun race to watch, and you put on a show for us, running up there in the top 10 and coming away with a podium finish. So anybody you want to give a shout out to for third place?
Yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to the Loaded Dice Racing team, all the guys that help out week to week, that we work together to figure out strategy. Of course, Dallas there and on the team finished right in front of me. We worked together throughout that race on strategy. Timmy unfortunately didn't make it, and he had to win tonight, but shout out to all those guys, Safe, TJ, Brendel, so the whole Loaded Dice Racing crew, big help all year. And then of course Primetime Sports for sponsoring the race, BTDY for the series, and then V-Speed.
Well, thank you, sir, and congrats on third place. We'll catch you next week for round 3 at Kansas.
Sounds good. Hope to talk to you there.
All right. That was Alan Dice, third place finisher. Great run from him as well. A couple drivers, impressive nights here. And Seth Hatchell, your winner, comes out on top for his second victory of the season. Didn't look like Seth was going to have a shot at it, but turns out you don't know until the checkered flag falls. But let's take a look at the recap and the rundown, see where your favorite drivers finished here tonight in the Outlaw Desert Racing Adrenaline Therapy 200 from Rockingham. Final race of round 2 of the playoffs. We had 5 cautions, a total of 5 lead changes. Not very competitive up at the front, but that last lead change happening on pit road, and Seth Hatchell wins the battle off. He holds on and fights off Dallas Sullivan, and Alan Dice takes home the victory here at Rockingham. Dallas Sullivan finishing in second position, his best finish of the year. Alan Dice, his best finish in third here tonight. Great run for those guys. Josiah Vincent, somehow with the car with no nose, comes home fourth. Great run and perseverance from him, like we've seen all season long. AJ Stravato had this race in the bag. Yellow flag flies. He was starting to get caught, and the pit cycle or the fuel mileage was going to be a concern, but an issue on pit road. He comes home 5th position here. Definitely disappointing, but he has 7 wins in the bag in the first 16 races. Not too much to complain about. Safe Ferris, a good run from him as well. He led the second most laps and comes home 6th position. Jeremiah Vincent finishes in 7th. Justin Carey, not sure if he advanced. I think the points just updated, and we have a tie between Nick Starling and Zach Smith. It looks like Nick is going to be moving on based on the point standings that I'm looking at right now. So congrats to Nick Starling for advancing. It was just... it was a 3-way tie between Nick, Zach, and Justin, and Nick ends up winning the tiebreaker as far as I can tell. So congrats there, and such a valiant effort from those guys. Justin getting involved in a late caution. He finishes 8th here tonight. Not quite enough. Ryan Gemmel finishes 9th. That is enough to advance on to round 3. And okay, maybe not called yet. Thank you for that. I'll have to hear officially from the league admins on that one. So 10th place tonight, Timothy Emanuele. Good run from him. Not quite enough to advance, however. 11th place, Zach Smith. 12th place was Lyle Sulfridge. 13th was Nick Starling. We're still waiting for the call on that. Then 14th was Lane Sulfridge. 15th, Kyle Payne. 16th, Thomas Brendel. 17th, Brandon Vasquez. 18th was Cody Adkins. 19th, Jordan Shepler. And rounding out the top 20, Eric Gallion. 21st was Dennis Steele. 22nd, Jordan Brockle. 23rd, Eric Hutton, who looked like he might have had a shot at a win here. He started up in the top 5 and just not have it, and out of this race early. Jason Perkins rounds out the field in 24th position. But we will await the call here, and hopefully that is announced soon enough. I'm not sure just yet, but we will have to find out. We'll make the announcement on our Twitter, so check us out over there. Again, we want to thank the sponsor for tonight's race, Outlaw Desert Racing and their Adrenaline Therapy, for sponsoring tonight's event. And check us out on all of our different social medias to learn more about them and all of the other sponsors that help make all this possible. You can check us out to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. For pre-race announcements before each and every broadcast, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and over on our YouTube for race replays. You can catch the last few races from this series up there. We don't have last week's race up because we weren't around to broadcast it, so that one won't be up on our channel, but check us out. Subscribe to us over there to stay up to date with the content if you want to go back and watch. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to be rating someone here tonight. Let's see who we can jump in with before we get going. We're going to jump in with Mr. David Schildhouse at Schildhouse and go enjoy his content. Say hello to him for us, and hope you all have a great evening. We'll be back next week with the Underdog Racing League and the next round of the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series starting at Kansas. Thank you, and have a great night.